balance our expense with our income, right? No, I'm doing that, right? Because I never usually do that before, but I learned so much to manage my budget. So this is what we're going to go over tonight, and I'm going to turn it over to Narisha Carsmall, and she will go from there. The next slide. Thank you.
Hello, thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Narisha, and I am happy to be one of your presenters tonight. And I hope that you're able to take away some good information. So we're talking about, why do I want a budget? Making a budget can help you determine your spending plans and in turn show you where you should limit your spending and what you can afford to spend more money on. It helps you to put in place personal and family financial goals. And how can you do that? With us being financial professionals, we can help you get your short-term 1 to 3 years, midterm 3 to 7 years, and your long-term 7+ years. Right. All right, so what is your monthly income and expenses? Looking at your income, making your income. We have teachers, construction workers, doctors, and where you can make your income. And then also we have your expenses, where whether you're purchasing a car, an expensive car or a regular car, motorcycle, your expenses, you have to pay for your mortgage. Mortgages are things that you need as expenses. You have to pay for shoes. Depending on how expensive they are, they could be a want. We have saving, and we need transportation. And now I'm going to pass it on to Nadine, and she's going to speak with you about monthly budgeting needs.
Thank you, Narisha, and Anne-Marie for starting out so awesome with our guests here. And thank you again for coming on. One thing that I know, that when we talk about budgeting, your monthly budget needs, we all have to know what our needs are. What type of budget do we need to have for ourselves and or for our family? So let's look at what your needs are. You talk about emergency fund. We always say have 3 to 6 months of emergency fund. But look at what happens last year. We're in 1 year in the pandemic. We're literally trying to understand how much we really need to save. We're not sure of how direction we're going. Some are, some aren't. Because when you look at it, when the pandemic hit and they shut down, a lot of people not even had 1 month savings. So now we have to even look at saying 6 months to a year. We usually had said 3 to 6 months, but now you look at it, we need more than 3 months, because going in 1 year of really not seeing if you have it. Some people have lost their jobs. Some people are home. Some people have lost loved ones. So what that emergency fund could have done for you, a whole lot. And then we're talking about now the education fund, financial aid, 529 plan. Those are your needs. When you're looking at your budget, when those two persons were sitting there looking at their budget and they're like, wow, where's my money going? When they're diversifying their portfolio in their budgeting. And when Narisha talks about depends on your career, what career you have, that's your income coming in. How are you spending with the money coming in every month? It's a big deal. So it's talk about our needs and their wants. You might want that fancy car. You might need, but you need to pay your bills, right? You need to set up these funds if you have children. How are we going to not allow them to have student loans? How are we going to save from now when they're young? Student loans is one of the biggest debt in the United States. You cannot, even when you file bankruptcy, that student loan is not going anywhere. It's still there. A lot of people now, I sat down with a couple of clients and it's like, oh, even the American Pie that was signed is like, I hope they will forgive our student loans. A lot of people are looking for that, for forgiveness. Retirement plan, growth safety. You want to make sure where you're putting your money, you have enough when you retire. Look at these couples right here. They're relaxing now, they retire because they had sat down and planned. And that's what the couple before was doing. Even if you're a single person, it doesn't matter, you got to plan. Even if you have no children, you got to plan. And your children is not your retirement. You are your own retirement. You got to plan. Estate planning. Think about, are you putting down for, do you have a will? Do you have a healthcare proxy? Do you have a trust if you need a trust? As a financial professional, these are the key things that we're talking about. How to build your financial house strong. Because if you're not building it strong, when you get to retirement, or not even retirement, doesn't have to be retirement. If there's an emergency or education, everything that you have to plan for. A lot of people get sick and end up in the hospital and has no health care proxy. Do you have those things in place for yourself? That will, that trust, healthcare proxy, financial proxy. We have to have a financial proxy. A lot of people don't understand that even on your bank account, you should have someone on your bank account as a beneficiary. In case you get sick, you can't talk. It's not when you pass away. In case, and they need to access your account. They're not on there as a joint member. But if something happened, the government will hold that account until they could prove. Suppose they need money right away to help, and they don't have access to your account if you're capable. It's only if it is an emergency, they have access to that account. So you have to think about all that here, estate planning. Then what is those needs? You have your car. You should have money put down for what? For tire. I could remember buying one tire. How much? I think one tire I bought last year, the year before was $100 for one. So I have to have emergency fund for even simple thing like that. But you have to have what? For your home, for auto, for commercial. You need to have insurance for different type of things. Your home in case something happened. Your car in case something happened. If you have a business, you have liability insurance coverage. We will insure everything. And plus we need to have insurance on ourselves in case we have disability. Do we have enough coverage? Not just health insurance plan. Because if you have to go to rehab or thing, a lot of time the insurance coverage don't cover enough days. Life insurance, health insurance, how much and what type do you need? Everyone needs differently. Everyone needs are totally different when it comes to life insurance or health insurance. But when you talk about life insurance, we have a method, we call it the DIME method, because you have to know what's your debt, what's your income, what's your mortgage, and what's your education to know how much you really need to have coverage for yourself. How much you need to be putting aside if you have terminal illness, if you have disability, if you have chronic illness. How much do you really need? And if God forbid, we have a saying, you hear an accent, we have a saying back home in Jamaica that if you knock on wood, because we don't want anything to happen to anyone, right? But what about those things? If you pass away, do you have enough coverage to take care of your family? Is left behind. That's part of estate planning. What about long-term care? Long-term care is very important. I look at long-term care that, hey, in my golden years, I might end up going back to Jamaica. I don't know. But whatever I put in place, I want to make sure that it could go back home with me. I have one daughter. I don't want her to be taking care of me. I always give this joke, and I know, who knows, you might have the same joke, everyone, but I want, when I'm getting old and there, I want a nice young man to come and take care of me so my heart is pumping a little bit more when he walks in. That's me. You don't want no old person like yourself. Oh, Miss Ellis. I'll be like, where's that young gentleman? So I want to make sure I have enough for long-term care, that I could pay for him to come in so I could live longer. When you're happy, you smile, and you live longer because you're not worrying about anything else. But if my daughter will come and be taking care of me, it's very stressful. You don't want your daughter or your children to be cleaning you and all of that. We don't want that. So we got to make those little changes. So before I continue, I did not introduce myself properly. I'm so sorry. I was so excited to get into this so much. So my name is Nadine Ellis. I am with World Financial Group, World System Builder. Our main objective is financial education. Because when you don't understand how to build your house strongly, you're stuck in the middle somewhere. So we have these free events, free workshops, free everything for our community to just join every week to come on. 8 years in the financial industry, 8 years going 9 years in the financial industry, but 20 plus years in the business arena. I love what I do because I'm changing people's life. So I do apologize. I was just so excited to get started. So we're going to continue to the next slide now. Thank you. So let's think about it. When have you ever do a financial checkup? Have you sat down like this family right here? They put in some in the piggy bank right here, but you have to do a financial checkup. If you have children, you can fill this out. You can see where you at. What is your goal? What is your retirement goal? What is your home goal? If you don't own a home right now, how can we help you get out of debt so your credit score goes much better? We have workshop 1 on debt management. What about your long-term care that I spoke about? What about if you have parents, you're ready to retire your parents? And of course, we have talked about education, Medicare, concierge service, funeral concierge service, vacation and traveling. I love to go on vacation. Every year I travel all over, international and all over in the US too. Love vacation. We got to budget and save for all those things. I know it sounds like a whole lot, but you know what? You see this young lady put in that money in the piggy bank right here? One at a time. Just put one at a time for each bucket, and you can make it happen. But you have to have that financial checkup. You have to see what is your monthly expenses. What's coming in? What's your gross? What's your net? And we'll talk about, give some examples after this here. But you gotta write it down. You're gonna sit with a financial professional like myself and Anne-Marie and Nourisha, and you're gonna make sure that we walk you through this step right here. What's your liabilities? What's your assets? And how much insurance you have that we talk about, if it's life insurance, terminal illness, critical illness, disability, short-term, long-term, all of that. That is your financial checkup, because you're checking yourself up, not just for you, but also for your family. And if you have children, for your children too. If you have parents or whoever else in the golden years, whoever is going to be there with you, you got to make plans for that. So we'll sit down with you. We'll do a one-on-one consultation, free consultation on this financial checkup. You got to see where you're at and where you need to go in the future. So let's look at it. Just giving an example when we talk about that financial checkup. So I had this checkup with this gentleman right here. He's like, oh my goodness, this money just flying all over. What is this, Nadine? What's going on? Well, when he looked at his gross, your gross is totally is before taxes. He had 5,000. Oh, I make 5,000 a month. Well, how much do you come home with after they take out expenses and other things that you're saving in? I'm doing 401k Canadian, I'm putting this there, I'm doing all these things. I have to pay for health insurance, I have to pay for this, I have to pay for that. All he's coming home with is 3,900. Then we look at your total monthly expenses. So when we calculate all that was on that financial checkup statement, all the expenses when it comes from home, mortgage, rent, everything that you could think of your monthly expense, even how you're spending, buying things out there, food, lunch, dinner, whatever you're doing. Can I go back to the pandemic? I always say, I hope everyone last year should have saved a whole lot more because we weren't going out as much. Now, a lot of people are going out more now. So they start spending more, right? But at least last year, they should have been saving a little bit more. And you should be saving more even now because you're still not going out as much. But when we look at everything, only extra he had left was only $400. Only $400. So now I'm going to see breakdown. What is expense? What are you doing on a daily basis, sir? Why the money flying away so much? It's just flying, 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 going. So let's look at that. So we look at where to find the money now. So he said to me, said, Nadine, on a daily basis, Mr. J said, 5 days a week, I buy breakfast. I'm out, I run out, I'm back at work, I buy breakfast, $10. Lunch, I don't take anything. I buy lunch, $15. You don't look at it as anything, right? Because you're just swiping, you're swiping, you're swiping, you're just swiping. If that money was in your pocket, you will see it more. Because you're just swiping, I got it, it's okay. Coffee, $7. Transportation, $10. That's maybe buying gas, maybe jumping on the lift, doing whatever, but transportation, $10 a day. So $42 he spent daily, $42. And he's like, oh, it's $42. But I said, what about 5 times a week? 5 times a week, he spent $210. 5 times a week. Now calculated by 4 weeks. He was like, oh my gosh, that's $840. That's why the money's flying, just going, going, going. So you have to think about it yourself. Did you spend your money wisely for the month? That's what I asked. Did you spend your money wisely for the month? Because he thought he was. Because he has to eat, right? He has to eat. But look at it when you calculate it. That's almost what? Almost $1,000, right? Almost $1,000. That's $840. Only $160 shy of $1,000 of just spending daily. So let's go to the next. That's the conversation that me and him having. So the next one that we talked about is next. He said, what is that monthly savings that you can do? You have cable? Yes. Can you reduce that cable? Can you reduce on that satellite there or satellite? Some people have different things. Can you reduce it to a basic level? There's so much gadgets, so much app that you can download now to watch the news. The news, if you love watching the news, if you love watching sports, whatever it is. What about your cell phone bill? You have cell phone bill, you have landline. I don't think a whole lot of people have landline anymore. But have landline, the cell phone bill, sometimes you cut off the landline and the cell phone bill is over $100 and something for one cell phone bill. That's too much. Online shopping, all that. I remember during the pandemic, all I see was Amazon dropping off. Amazon, 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 everything dropping off Amazon. At the door, online, still going, right? I know some of us look outside, and if it's not at our door, we see Amazon just driving by, right, guys? They're just driving by every day. I'm in Georgia, so on the block, you just see Amazon going. I think 24-hour Amazon, and if it's not Amazon, even the U.S. UPS, the Postal Service, you see they come at different hours on Sundays. Oh my goodness! So online shopping got to cut down. Canceling gym membership. Are you going to the gym? Are you paying gym membership and you're not going? Can you cut that down a little bit? Save with grocery. There's a lot of coupons. I remember many years ago, we have a good friend. The first time I saw this, she had I think her bill was over $100. By the time she paid $7 and some change. I was like, oh my gosh, can I do this? So, I hurry up getting some coupons. We have Kroger here in Georgia, and they have these coupons that you're there and other things, manufacturer coupons, all that there, right? What about your utility bill? Grocery bills, all that, light gas, call the gas company. We're not even traveling. If you have transportation, no, you can call your auto insurance and say, hey, I'm not doing all those mileage. There's so much that you could cut it down. Think about it. Everyone's situation is different. So think about those things that you can cut down for yourself to make sure you find extra money to put aside. So now what? You have totally took control. You take control of your cash flow. One thing that you should always do is take control of your cash flow. Nobody else should take care of it, only you. So that's why we started about that financial checker, because a lot of time we're just swiping, and we're not paying attention of how we're spending. But when you write it down, you will see how much you're spending each day. You go to the store, $2, $3, $5, $10. For the day, you have spent so much. When I talked to Mr. J was spending, $42 a day, and he didn't see it as nothing because he was okay. But then he's wondering why there's not enough money in his account. But then when I say, hey, can you make breakfast 3 times a week? Treat yourself only twice a week. He said, okay. What about coffee? The same thing. That's the extra $30 from the breakfast, $18 for coffee. Then shopping online. Can we cut down that? He gave me a budget. Can we cut down on that? No, if $60 came there. What about dinner? 3 times per month, go out. You don't have to do dinner every day. That's an extra $90 he saved. Extra $90. Your monthly bills, you cut down on certain things and your monthly bills, he found $500 by cutting down certain things. $500. So how much did he discover? $698 extra. Extra. So you have to know how you're spending and where you could cut down. Because one thing you have to remember, your younger you have to take care of your older you. Don't forget that. Your younger you have to take care of your older you. So you have to put some down. You have to pinch. You could play, you could do vacation, you could go out with the family, you go out with friends, you could do all of that. But remember, you got to put something down for yourself. So look how much he discovered. Now from $400, he have $1,298. Now you have increased what? Your funds for a monthly budget. How much you going to put for that emergency fund? How much you going to put for that education fund? How much you going to put aside for whatever you need for the future? And another session, we will talk about how to compound where you're going to put that money. Because one thing, when you have this money, the bank is only for emergency fund only. It's not for compound interest. So you're going to have to know where you're putting that money and how your money can double for you. How you can get more than 1%, 2%. How can you get 5%? Beating inflation totally. You got to know these things when you're budgeting. And that's why when you sit down with us, we will show you, we'll direct you where you can, how you can diversify your portfolio. Because you have to know how to diversify, because having this now, you gain that extra money and it's just sitting in the bank, right? Narisha, just sitting there. Does it make sense? No, it's not. It doesn't make sense at all. But it's okay. It's just for emergency fund, but not for longevity. So we'll definitely direct you. Like how I direct Mr. J. You see how happy he is? He's so excited. Yes, Nadine, thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate you. Next. So tip to stay on budget. Because you have to have some tips. You got to know these things. You have to know the spending. Because now I show you how to do it, where to find that extra money, how you're going to take from one to the next or cut down on certain things. Because that's all budget. It's not how much you make, it's how much you can save and where you're putting it so your money will double or triple. So here are the tips. It said, don't spend money you don't have. We think our credit card is that spending vehicle. It's not. There's good debt and there's bad debt. The credit cards are one of them. Depends on what you do. So don't spend if you don't have it, because it's going to come. And that interest, most credit card interest is what, 22%? That's all 29%. I was like, OMG, what is this? They're sending them. I'm like, that is too much interest. If you are a couple, always do the budget together. Don't budget it by yourself. Even if your spouse, your partner is not able to sit down with you, still do the budget like you're doing it with both of you are there. Because you got to see how your partner is spending. Why, if they make 5,000, you make 5,000, and then there's no money in their account, what's going on? There's nothing in the emergency fund. Every month is different, but stick to your budget. Sometimes you want to treat yourself. You might see a new pair of this, a new pair of wants, right? Like Narisha talk about, new pair of wants. You want to treat yourself. I want to treat myself. I'm a lady. We ladies love to buy shoes and pocketbooks. We have a problem, a big problem, right? And we love to decorate. No, I'm not a big decorator. I'm bad at that one, so I won't even say that. I know some ladies every year, every minute they want to change everything. That's not me too much. So I'm not that bad, right? But we have to, sometimes we want to treat ourselves. Track your progress. You got to track your progress. You got to see where you at. In every way, you got to look at it. Because like I said, every month is different, but you have to track that progress. Take time and be consistent to get perfect. And you know what, we're saying getting perfect, but no one get perfect. No one is perfect, right? No one is perfect. But you can at least pay attention, be very intentional of how you're spending each month to make sure that you're on target, that you're on your budget. And he said, remember, you have goals and objectives you wish to achieve. So whatever your goals and your objective that you wish to achieve, like Narisha had talked about your one year, your short-term goal, your mid goals, your long-term goals. So we all have those goals to achieve. If it's short, if 1 to 3 year, 3 to 5, or 5 to 5+ years, we all have those goals. So we have to know how we're working it and how we're doing it in every way possible. Next. So a monthly budget worksheet. If you don't have one, we can give you a budget worksheet. And you can create your own budget worksheet. This is just an example. What's coming in, income 1, income 2, extra income. If you're doing a lot of people are doing extra jobs or business, right? They're doing gigs. Your DoorDash, Lyft, Uber, that's extra, right? Or if that's your full-time business that you're doing, it's a business. So that's extra income. Your yearly funds, how much you're putting aside for long-term, your emergency fund, for your long-term saving, for your retirement. Do you give gifts? Do you give back to church or charities? All of that should be in your budget. I give back to church, for my church, for charity, back home. So it depends on what your charity is and your giving is. What about your rent and your mortgage? You put that in here. Your property tax, if you're doing it separately. Some people have mortgage, home insurance, or rental insurance. Anything that you have, repairs that you do on a monthly basis, and repairs are not the same every month. Sometimes you don't have any, that's awesome. But sometimes you do. Now, utilities, you put everything that you have here, transportation. What is everything? Your expense, your monthly food, grocery, entertainment. I passed yesterday my movie theater. It was packed. There was a lot of cars outside. I'm like, oh my goodness. I said, it's open up. I'm in Georgia.
Wow.
I'm in Georgia, all I could say. But that parking lot was packed. So people are going back out to the movies, right?
Mhm.
What about clothing, supplies, whatever we need, dry cleaning? I don't know much, but whatever you're spending on your pets, I forgot, pets, they cost more than children sometimes. I'm telling you. You have to, do you know if you're traveling and you're taking them on the plane, you gotta buy a ticket for them too? Yes. They're not free. If you're going on vacation, you better put them into a daycare center for the week. If you don't have anybody to take care of them, billions of dollars are spent on pets each year. Billions, not million, billions. I can't remember that star that passed away and she left so much money for her pet. Ridiculous. But they are part of the family. Gotta love them. I see Narisha there laughing the other day. She has a what do you have again, Narisha? That there?
A guinea pig that I
A
got
guinea
for
pig.
free. But gosh, the amount of money I've paid.
Thank you. Just a guinea pig, and she had to travel with him. I see him and the kids traveling together. I'm like, there you go. Another child.
Another child, Narisha.
Another child. Yes. So we got to think about all this here. And if you have professional services, childcare, a big expense. Because now you're going back to work. So you have to, the children are going back to daycare. The parking lots at the daycare now you see they're dropping off more. And of course, debt. How much you have to spend on your credit cards, your credit card bills, all of that. Everything is included in your budget. You have to have a budget worksheet. Next. almost there, wrapping it up, now getting to there. One thing that I want you to understand, this creating a budget is not to get you scared or get you worried and sit there. It's just looking at where you at and where you can be and where you need to be for yourself. It's not for everybody else, but for you. It said with budgeting, a person can walk tall. You walking tall now because you know what? I got my cash flow under control. So I got to sit up a little strong now because I'm walking tall, right? You walk tall, you talk tall. You know, you remember the Jefferson? He moving on up. He's so tall. He's like, he looked like about 4 feet something. I don't think he reached 5 feet, but he walked tall. He was on point. That's how you want to walk. You want to feel tall. It said the state of budgeting having a lot to do with how tall you walk. Budgeting affects the way you stand, the way you walk, the tone of your voice, your physical well-being, your self-confidence, because you have no worries. Your bills are paid on time. You're not robbing from Peter to Paul or John or Mary. And sometimes you're going all over the place. You're able to pay your bills on time. Like I repeat myself. And have extra because now you know how you're spending. You're budgeting yourself. A person without a budget is always running. Just running. He or she sit nervously on life's chair because any small emergency creates a crisis. We saw that last year more than anything, any year. Even before, as they shut down the whole entire country, so much people were panicking, wondering how they're going to pay their bills, how they're going to feed their self and their children and their family. It's all about budgeting, putting down for that rainy day if something happened. A person who have mastered the ability of budgeting will tell you that the ability to budget has nothing to do with your income. I have seen, and I myself, you just say you're making this amount and your bills are that amount, you got a budget. Because it doesn't matter me. You could make thousands, millions of dollars and still be broke every month. Still be broke every month. We have seen that. Budget for a peace of mind that you're you're feeling good. That you know what, I got my cash flow under control. That's it. Your cash flow is under control because you're maintaining what you're doing for yourself. You're maintaining your money. You're understanding how money works. You're making it happen. One thing here at World System Builder, our company, that's why I like our campaign. Because we're on a campaign to educate 30 million people by 2030. How are we doing that? By these events that we're having and by events that we have every day, Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have college planning. We have everything you could think about, debt management, everything. We have that. And these are free workshops every day. That's what I love. That's what I appreciate. Next slide. So here, it's a budgeting is not a dream. It's a decision. Let me repeat it again. Budgeting is not a dream. It's a decision you have to make. You have to make. You have to make. All of us have to make that decision. So let's get started now. Nerisha, let's get started now. Let's start right now. Right? Let's get going. Next slide. So I want to thank you very much. And congratulations for congratulations, your budgeting goal paid off. After this session, here, this workshop here, I want you to sit down. I want you to go over your budget. Because what? You could get your needs over there. Not just your wants, your needs. Look at that gentleman laying on his, I think that's a BMW. Yes. He's like, thank you. Your child graduate debt free. That's why she's laughing. Yes, thank you, mom and dad, not giving me any debt. Vacation, vacation, vacation on some of your wants. Some of you want some sneakers, some clothes. You see how happy she is? Oh my goodness, of course. And look at this couple moving to their home because they put aside, they work on it to make this happen. So we're going to share our information right now. And I want you to write down our information, take a picture if it is, call us. My name again is Nadine Ellis. My number is there. My email address, Anne-Marie information is there. Nerisha information is there. All of our information is there. You could contact any one of us and we will sit down with you one-on-one and have a free consultation. So I thank you very much tonight for coming on. We really appreciate you taking your time out to understand this concept. And the concept is just learning how to budget. Because you're going to walk tall from now on. You're going to walk so tall in yourself. So thank you very much. And I appreciate you all coming on. And have an awesome rest of the day. And be safe. Make sure you be safe out there and be very careful. All right. Thank you again. And thank you, Nerisha. Thank you, Anne-Marie, for being
Thank
one of
you,
the hosts
everyone.
here. And
Appreciate
thank
it.
you, everyone, for coming on. And have a good day. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You are welcome.
Worldwide, and J Balvin was just.
And now Nerisha is
That's it.
going to stop the live feed at this moment and the recording. So thank you very much again for listening on YouTube and everything. We surely appreciate you for listening on YouTube. Thank you again.
Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.